All right, and we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. How's it going, everybody? We got another podcast episode for y'all today, and we have a guest joining us. We have Mr. Carl Daikeler. So Carl is the CEO of a company called BODi. Used to be previously known as Beachbody, if you've ever heard of it before. But he's joining us, so I just want to say thank you for joining the podcast. We appreciate it. And just a little bit about the podcast and what we do is we're a podcast just trying to help people get started, or people that have already started on their fitness journey, just to let them kind of learn the basics, learn the ropes as they dive in. Because in fitness and health, there's a lot of information, so we just try to keep things basic and simple, and help people get started and keep them motivated and keep them going. So that's a little bit about us. If you would just introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Well, I got to tell you, you're preaching to the choir. I'm 62 years old. I've been running this company for 27 years, and that is exactly what our mission is: to help people who, frankly, can be intimidated by gym culture, or these days the whole movement of longevity and biohacking and biometrics and wearables. You don't know where to start. And our company used to be known as Beachbody, now BODi, BODi, is really committed to keeping it simple and helping people understand just how literally 10 minutes a day can have such a dramatic impact on your life. And I don't know any other fitness company that's out there promoting 10 minutes a day. I created a program probably close to 30 years ago called 8-Minute Abs. And it was a sensation at the time, but it really helped me and its customers just find a gateway to a little bit of a healthier lifestyle, which can have an amazing ripple effect into the rest of your decisions.
Absolutely. So you said you started 30 years ago. So why did this start? How did this start? What were you, just a fitness fanatic, or what? How did you get into it?
I hate it. I can't stand it, man. Like literally, and that's why the company's done well. Is I have no problem blowing off a workout, but I also, I like my body to feel a certain way. I like my clothes to fit a certain way. That I don't know if you ever dealt with this, Murphy, but like something about you have a pair of jeans that they fit so well when you bought them. And every time you put them on, you're like, well, these jeans just seem to keep shrinking. And I don't like that feeling. So lifestyle, I needed to find a way to integrate that lifestyle into my behavior. And so I just started to create programs, and really it was like a psychological approach. And so for me, what never worked was I'm going to join a gym and I'm going to go to this gym consistently now for the rest of my life. Like I just can't make that. I just don't like it enough. I don't like the pain of it. So I'm like, okay, you know what? If I want my body to change, what I'm going to do is commit 21 days, or I'm going to commit 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. And, whatever I feel like I've got the tolerance for, and then I go all in for those 21 days. And so this is what the company has done now for these 27 years, is create programs that help beginners get going. And when I say 21 days, there's a program we developed called 21 Day Fix that incorporates half-hour workouts, and it goes 7 days a week for 21 days. And it shows people how to eat in a way where they can still enjoy the foods they love, but manage their portions with these color-coded containers. And that product has probably done in excess of $1 billion in sales, because it just simplifies it for people. There's no weighing, there's no measuring. You don't have to get a personal trainer. You don't have to buy a fancy piece of equipment. You can use resistance bands or dumbbells. And that's what works for me. So like, I'm not just the CEO here. I am literally customer number one. And by breaking it into these little pieces, I've managed to keep myself consistent now for these 27 years. I mean, I go off and I go on, but I'm 62 years old now. And I can honestly say I'm in the best shape of my life, literally, because I've managed to be consistent by listening to my body. And last thing I'll say in answer to your question, like, I just want to make sure that I don't grow old before I have to. So I'm trying to stay agile and fit and be able to do the sports or the activities that I love. But that's going to require me to engage in a little bit of discomfort every single day, whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So that's the way I approach this. And that's why the company's been successful is we keep the beginner or the non-fitness enthusiast in mind with the way we design content.
Yeah, I like how you said when you use the containers, it kind of it makes it easy because you don't have to think about it. So that's what that works a lot for me because it's just to me, I hear that as you're reducing the amount of resistance of doing something, and that works for me a lot. Like for me, like I meal prep, same idea. When I meal prep, there's no resistance of me, trying to eat something bad because I already have the food ready for me and it's there, and there's no resistance there. I can just do it; it's already ready. So that helps a lot for me. And then like something as simple as laying out your gym clothes the night before.
Come on,
You're breaking that
perfect.
resistance there. The
Let me
more
tell you what
resistance you have,
I do
the
the same
harder it
thing.
is.
I do the same thing. So I like have 3 key things that I do to get my butt out of bed in the morning. And for me, it's got to be in the morning. Otherwise, it's going to haunt me all day or I'll skip it. So I need to get it done in the morning. But I make sure I know what workout I'm going to do. Like I don't leave it to guessing in the morning. If I know which workout on the BODi app I'm going to follow, there. It's even like on my TV. When I turn my TV, it'll be there. I put my gym clothes out, sneakers, whatever, everything. And I have my pre-workout, like literally the shaker cup, the tub, so that I get the hit of caffeine that I want, so that I have more power for the workout. Like all of that is ready. So it's like get up, get dressed, knock back that energize, push play. And then, you're just blown away with how fast it's done. And yeah, it can suck while you're doing it at 6:30 in the morning. Like I'm not expecting it to be fun for people. I'm watching the countdown clock. I can't wait for it to get done. But here's the thing that I want to say to people, because I've never had, people talk about the endorphin rush that you get. I've never felt it. Like, I don't know what sort of magic voodoo people have that they get an endorphin rush from working out. But I will say that conquering that workout, even if I'm not feeling great, like even if I'm not fully energized and I'm like, but even if I just sort of sleepwalk my way through a 20-minute workout, when I get done, there's a ripple effect into the rest of the day that 20 minutes expands into the whole day of pride that I did it. My food choices are a little bit better. Like I'm gearing up. Am I going to do it again tomorrow? Am I going to show up like I did this morning at 6 a.m.? Like something about that 20 minutes has so much impact to the rest of the day. And that's the way it works for me. And I think our community, of a million people are like, the same way. Like they're not waking up being like, woohoo, I'm about to lift and I'm about to, get gassed with this insanity cardio. But they're just like, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell my friends online that I did it. And that feels really good.
Yeah. And I think when you talked about the endorphin rush, I think you're kind of are talking about that in a sense. Like I during a workout, no, I've never felt the endorphin rush during a workout. But it's what you say when you get done with that workout. When you leave, like I work out at the gym. It's like when I leave the gym, I'm in a much better mood. Like you said, it plays a role in everything else I do during the day. So it just has a trickle down effect. So it's more of that satisfaction you get from it when you're done.
Well, now what about you? Do you love working out?
I do. I'm a fitness fanatic. I'm one of those people.
Man, I don't know how you do it. Like that. Good for you.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I just kind of got hooked to it as when I was like a freshman in high school. I started doing it for sports, and I was always a real skinny guy. I was always small. So as soon as I put on some muscle, put on some strength, I kind of just got hooked to it and I enjoy it. But over the years, that my training's kind of changed. So like recently, I've been doing a lot more endurance sports. I'm doing more running. I've done some triathlons, did ultra marathons. So I've done a few different things. I'm switching it up now. That way I'm not.
Ultra marathons?
Yeah, I did a 100-mile ultra marathon in April.
Oh, that's just stupid.
Yeah, it is. It is stupid. I agree.
Honestly, this makes no sense to me. I was talking to a guy the other day. He runs a charity here that helps homeless, and to raise money for it, he's going to do 50 marathons in 90 days. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, but again, this is how we're different. This is why your audience is so lucky that you chose this concept, because for the rest of us, there's probably 180 million people like me in the US who are like, my doctor's telling me I'm supposed to, my blood pressure's high, my cholesterol's high, my knees always hurt, like whatever. I don't sleep well. I've got sleep apnea. And they're like, but I hate working out. And these are the people that need to hear what you and I are talking about. That literally 10 minutes a day. There's a reason on the BODi app, we got over 400 10-minute workouts. We also have 5-minute workouts. And the science, what's really interesting, there used to be in the UK and the US, there used to be like a minimum standard for how long a workout should be. And all that changed when they found that literally, like the guidelines changed when they found that short bouts of activity, even 5 to 10 minutes, can improve your key risk factors like body weight and blood pressure, so that your total daily movement combines to decide just how active you are, right? So you're getting steps in, but you're also maybe getting that 10-minute workout in. And this is the thing that I think the fitness industry does a disservice to people like me, because they're talking about, these fancy machines and bikes you got to buy, or expensive gym memberships you got to drive to the thing, when literally if somebody could just give themselves a break and do 10 minutes a day. Imagine if you did 10 minutes of push-ups, take a little break, do your max push-ups, take a little break, do the next round, drop to your knees, take a little break. Just how far can you go in 10 minutes? And then the next day, maybe you try to do pull-ups, or you do some sort of back exercise. And the next day you do some sort of shoulder exercise. Just 10 minutes though. People will be blown away by what happens to their body in 30 days and what happens to their energy and overall health. But the fitness industry isn't saying that, because that doesn't sell gym memberships, and it doesn't sell bikes and fancy equipment, because nobody's buying a fancy equipment for 10 minutes, right? But gravity's free, and it can completely change people's lives. And that's why I so appreciate your podcast, because it's finally breaking it down for people so that they understand they don't have to blow their brains out with an ultra marathon. More power to you, but they don't have to run 100 miles in order to qualify for being healthy and active. 10 minutes a day and you qualify. You get the badge. You can wear the pin. That's my point.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that, because I always encourage my listeners or anybody that I talk to start at home. Like you said, start at home, 10 minutes a day. Start with walking. I like walking a lot for people. It's very accessible. Most people can do it.
Right.
So yeah, just start like in your living room. I mean, you have an app, so we'll get more into that in the podcast. But yeah, there's great workouts online now that are very accessible and pretty, fairly priced. You can even find some free stuff. So I always say start at home, start with body weight. Don't try to make it too difficult. Stick to the basics. There's a reason they still do, push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, things like that to this day, because the basics work. So don't try to make it too complicated.
The critical thing though is, yes, the basics work. And right, even starting with walking. But, I was talking to a woman the other day, and she was saying how she loves to run. Like, she loves to run and walk. But that's not going to help her with her osteoporosis, like avoiding osteoporosis. That's not going to help her avoid what they call sarcopenia or muscle loss, which undermines your metabolism. So what people need is a plan. And that's what we do on the BODi app. Like even if it's not for any of this muscle, it's like, even if it's just for energy, there was a study that 10 minutes of cardio, comparing 10 minutes of cardio to a pill with 50 milligrams of caffeine. Okay. So in Physiology and Behavior in 2017, they took sleep-deprived college students and tested them like two groups. One, how'd they feel after 10 minutes of low to moderate cardio. And then the other group had 50 milligrams of caffeine in a capsule. And the ones that did 10 minutes of cardio all felt better for longer and more energy from doing that workout. Like this, again, this is the kind of thing nobody's talking about. And it's got so much power. And this is what I'm so passionate about because look, I know it doesn't generate as much revenue as the big equipment and the big gyms, but it's also not free if you're going to do it right in a way that's designed by professionals who want to maximize the outcome that you get from those 10 minutes. Like I don't want to see people just walk for 10 minutes because that's not going to help their bone density. It's not going to help their memory and like all these things that muscle contributes to. So resistance training in a specific order really makes a difference. So I'm proud of what we do. I know we're a little bit disruptive to the fitness industry in what we do because we make it available to everybody, but we're also not free because we research everything we do, we structure it in a way, and then we test it to make sure that the people who are just doing 10 minutes a day or doing 20 minutes a day are getting the outcome that they expected. I did a program. Sorry, I'm talking a lot.
You're good.
I'm psyched. But we created a program this summer called 25-minute Speed Train. And I said, look, I want this to be for beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So you can sort of, based on the weights that you grab. But what I want people to feel after 8 weeks is that they have completely transformed their physique. And it's outrageous, Murphy. And I did it. I did it in July and August. And I was blown away at even though I was in good shape already, something about that consistency and keeping my razor sharp and just not negotiating with myself on any day. And I always took the seventh day for rest and recovery, so a little stretching, right? But I did 25 minutes of it because once I break my routine's broken and I got to restart Monday. Oh, do I really want to do this? So I got my time in the morning. And gosh, if you'd have seen the before and after photos that we got from people who finally put together 25 minutes a day and didn't beat themselves up because they didn't go to the gym or they didn't do an hour a day and they didn't make themselves vomit because they worked so hard. Like the people who just were like, you know what? I'm going to do what I can for these 25 minutes, and their whole lives change. They're losing 2-3 belt loops. They're going down a couple dress sizes, 3 or 4 inches off their waist. Like it's shocking. Consistency is shocking. And that's the big breakthrough that I'm hoping more people see. That it's not about trying to get it all done in a month. It's about showing up for yourself consistently, even if it's just 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, consistency, in my opinion, is the number one thing by far when it comes to being successful at a fitness journey. You don't have to be great every single day. You don't have to show up 100% every single day because sometimes, let's be honest, your workout's probably going to suck someday. You're going to be tired. You're not always going to get a great workout in, but as long as you show up and do it.
Ultra marathon guy, you got to be you must have to recover. Like you must have to take it down a notch.
Yeah, absolutely. Recovery is critical when you're doing a long prep like that, for sure.
Yeah.
Your consistency, I give everything to consistency in my fitness journey. That's the reason I am where I am today. Just because I showed up. I've done this literally for 12 years now, and I've never taken a break. I've just done it consistently.
So, like, do you engage with your listeners at all? Like, what do they say to you? Because it's beginners, right? So what do they say to you is the biggest obstacle for them to get started?
That's a good question. Not knowing what to do exactly because, information overload with the internet. I feel like that's a big one. Time is a big thing. And for me, I think a lot of it comes down to priority. A lot of people just haven't made it a priority in their life. They wait until something drastic in their life happens to finally make that change. Like they wait until they get a bad report from the doctor.
Sure.
And then that makes them go, oh, okay, like I am overweight. I probably should work on this. I should, start eating healthier, things like that. They
You
they
know,
wait until it's too late almost. And they need to start now, like start
look,
today.
look, you know, here's the holidays. For some reason, every year, people double down on their resistance to exercise, saying January 1st is when I'm going to start, right? So they make
Mhm.
it so much harder on themselves because January 1st comes by and it's not going to be any more fun. They're not going to be any more motivated. It's going to suck. And if they would just give themselves 10 to 15 minutes a day, even if say, hey, I'm going to take it easy during December, but I'm going to plug into a plan, right? So like we have this program, it's called For Beginners Only. And the workouts are about 20 minutes long. And we just want it to be super easy. Or we have one for people who are doing a GLP-1, like so that they can retain their muscle. But we made it super easy. They're checking the box so that they don't lose muscle. But what we're organizing around right now is a program that we call Dig In. So literally December 1st, almost 10,000 people are starting this program, a half hour a day. I don't know if you ever heard of Sean T. He's the insanity guy. Um, and he started lifting. So we put a program called Dig In, which is a combination of his Dig Deeper lifting program and low impact insanity, but it's just 30 minutes a day. So we got thousands of people to say, you know what? I'm not going to put it off. I'm going to make December my body transformation month so that I have my after photo so that I can go into the new year with strength and pride and momentum. And it's going to be really interesting to see what people do. But I agree with you. Like people not knowing where to start or how to go about it, that is why we lay our programs out day by day. So like if you go to some platforms, you don't know where to start. Where do I jump in to this thing that's already going? So for us, it's always a program starts with the day one and it'll get you certain results, 21, 60, 90 days. We got a program called Morning Meltdown 100. The workouts are between 18 and 30 minutes. But the premise is every morning you're going to wake up and do one of these workouts, burn off a layer of fat until you've done all 100. Now, some people do 2 a day, but the goal is kind of like we came up with it when we were talking about the Indianapolis 500, about how easy that race is, right? People just go around and around, one lap at a time until you did 500 miles. Well, this is 100 workouts, one a day, 18 to, and we lay them out specific day by day. And what's interesting about it is you're doing it the same way as the cast in there. So you're sore when they're sore. You're tired of it when they're tired of it. So you sort of feel like you're in the room of a real gym with people doing it. But we always want people to know, all right, I did this day one. What's day two? What's day three? What's day four? You're never in doubt. You never have to figure it out. Search the internet, go through YouTube or whatever to try to figure it out. You know that you're going through a program that was tested and got people reliable results when they finished that program. And I hope today we might get some people started.
Yeah, and again, how you have it laid out that helps with that resistance. It helps with that barrier to entry. You don't even have to think about it. You just follow the plan to a T, and then that way you know you did it correctly. You did the
That's
right thing.
exactly right. Yeah.
So how do the workouts on your app work? Are they instructor led? Is there
Yeah.
like videos, or it tells you the workout and you do it yourself? How does that
No,
work?
it's step by step. Like, and in fact, that's what motivated it. Because when we originally started it, like I wanted to get back in shape. I'd been out of college for like a decade. I'd gained all this weight, and I'm like, oh, where do I start? So the first thing you get a magazine that says, oh, get abs really fast, and like you got to read a magazine. I'm like, well, I can't tell what it is. I don't know the tempo. I couldn't tell anything from reading it, right? So I'm like, but I didn't feel like having a trainer come over to my house. I didn't have time to go to a gym because I'm always playing beat the clock all day. So I got things to do. So I'm like, if there was just a video that just laid it out step by step. So the first thing we created was this program called Power 90, which was, look, I got no time for workouts. I'm not interested, but I need to transform my body. So we created a video with this trainer, Tony Horton, and we laid it out day by day. We called it a Power 90, an in-home boot camp. And so you follow Tony on screen. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your TV, like Roku or Apple TV. You can do it on your computer. Just you sign up at BODi.com. That's BODi.com. So you can stream it anywhere, and then you just follow along. And so the trainer actually becomes your friend, and you're excited about learning. So that makes it a little bit less lonely, right? The thing that people love about the gym is it's not a lonely experience. But when you're working out with the same group of people on screen, I mean, and a trainer who knows how to communicate through that screen to create a relationship with you, like we got a program called 80-Day Obsession, which is about flattening your abs and building your butt at the same time, which is a difficult thing to do to balance and get an overall body transformation. And again, it's the same thing. Your day one is their day one. Their day 10 is your day 10. Like you track along with it. And it feels like you're with a group of people who are literally showing up to the gym same day as you every day. And you follow along. And that's how we built the app. We have over 140 of those kind of programs.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Power 90. Is that P90X? Is that what you're referring to?
That's right. Well, the very first one was Power 90. And then like we had, I don't know, I want to say probably 1 million people bought that program. And then they were like saying, well, what's next? I've mastered this thing. So I'm like, and I was about to turn 40. And I said to Tony, you know what? I've always wanted to have that body that you see on a cover of a magazine. Like I've never worked so hard and been disciplined with my food. So I want something that's like extreme. Like I want to see what I can do in 90 days. And I said, I want to call it Power 90 Extreme. And he goes, well, that name's too long. And you know what? I just want to help. I just want to help beginners get going. Like let's help the people who aren't getting started. I'm like, well, we helped them with Power 90. Now let's help them get to the next level. So he's like, all right, let's go for it. And we just shortened it from Power 90 Extreme to P90X. And sure enough, if that thing didn't just take off, like, that's multi-billion-dollar product. Turned out they were doing it. The Secret Service was doing it. Professional athletes were doing it. They were doing it in the White House, like crazy stuff. That thing was so popular that literally we haven't produced any workouts under the P90X brand for probably 12 or 13 years. But we get so many requests for more P90X that we went out and found, like, I call them the new James Bond. So basically, for the people who want the extreme, we found a guy, he's actually a British guy named Waz Ashayer. And we just created a new thing called P90X Generation Next. And that comes out in February. And it brings in more functional training, a different approach to agility training than was available to us back 18 years ago when we created the first P90X. But yeah, Power 90 led to P90X, which is now going to lead to P90X Generation Next that comes out on the BODi app in February.
Yeah, I remember P90X when I was younger. That was a big deal back in the day. I think my mom, they were DVDs back then. I'm pretty sure my mom had some of them in our house, and I remember that. I don't know why. That stuck out to me.
You mentioned your mom, well, because I was, like I said, I'm not just the CEO. I'm the first customer. So I was one of the first people to try P90X, but obviously my results are going to help sell the thing. So I went all in. Like I went as hard as I could, and I got some incredible results. And I remember showing my mother my before and after, and my own mother says to me, "Whose body did you put your head on?" I'm like, "Come on, Mom." So, this stuff works. But again, you know what? It's not magic sauce. I mean, we called it muscle confusion because there's periodization and we're always mixing it up so you don't plateau, which is something that's important in all of our programs. But ultimately, it's the people who show up, who manage. Like, you don't have to cut out all the foods that you love, but you just need to manage your portions. You can't starve yourself. You need to get enough protein, and you need to maybe watch the timing of your eating, not right before bed type of thing. And if you can dial that in, man, the results that you're going to see just in 90 days blow your mind.
So do you think the at-home kind of instructor-led fitness workouts, do you think that's going to keep growing and get bigger and bigger, or do you think people are going to go more traditional style to like towards the gym?
Well, it depends on how good you are with this, honestly. No, because here's the thing. If everybody decided to go to the gym there's not enough gyms to hold everybody. So only about, I don't know, maybe 20% of the population or 30% of the population has been a member or is a member of the gym. So you got a lot of people who just aren't interested, who don't have time for that drive. Even if they I don't know about you, but when I go, like if I go to a hotel, I've been doing this 27 years and I know how to put a workout together, but I walk into a hotel gym and if it's not empty, I'm intimidated. Like I don't like trying to get on the machine and then I always got to change the weight on the stack and I'm always the weakest one that touched it last. Like it's just intimidating. So I think that in terms of scale, the more we can help people understand that in-home workouts are legitimate and will get them crazy good results if they show up for themselves, the more people we can help get healthy. So there's always going to be some people who are like you, they fall in love with it. So they end up joining a gym because they want to be around other people who love that. And there's always going to be people like me. I don't want any witnesses. I want to get it done first thing. I don't want to touch anybody else's germs. And I want to get it done in 15 to 30 minutes. And so I think that the in-home trend is likely to grow, particularly as people realize all they need is a few pair of dumbbells and or body weight and some calisthenics and a good program, and they can get the kind of results that everybody else thinks you got to have a few $1,000s worth of machines to get done. I mean, Pilates is a big trend right now, right? Like it's the reformer Pilates is growing. It's the fastest growing trend, and a reformer can cost, I think, like $3,000. Maybe some people have them for $1,500. Well, we have a trainer called Autumn Calabrese, and she's like, well, this is sort of crazy. She was taking Pilates classes, and she's like, how can I help people do this so that everybody can get these benefits, like core benefits, posture, energy, all the stuff you get from Pilates? And so she created a thing called the Pilates track that literally hooks to your door, or you can attach it to the wall. But for $100, you get these bands and these sliders, and it mimics everything you can do on a $1,500 Pilates machine. And we launched that into the app in August, and it took off. It made our third quarter because everybody wants to do Pilates, but most people can't afford that $1,500 reformer, much less have space for it because it's massive. And now they're doing track Pilates at home. So it's my job, and thanks to people like you, to get this in front of people and help them understand that it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be inconvenient, and it doesn't have to take you 2 hours.
Yeah, I think that's where the kind of misconception there is they think since they don't have the nice equipment, they don't have the gym, that they can't see the same results. So that's good that we have people like you that can explain, yeah, you can make just as good results at home as you can at the gym. But the only difference to me, which is why I don't prefer working out at home, is the community base. You mentioned it earlier. You said you like to be around other people that are doing the same thing, that are into fitness. And that's why I would say I prefer the gym over working out at home. But that's going to depend on the type of person who you are. Like you said, you would rather do it by yourself, no witnesses, and that's perfectly okay too. You can get the same results with nobody around as 100%. You can with other people. So,
well, look, we have a thing. I don't know if you can see it here. This is our community. So we call it the BODi Experience Community, and we have like 115,000 people in this community, and you go in these little groups and post your sweaty selfie. And if you have any questions, you say to people, I'm not quite sure about this move, or what's the next program that I should do, or I'm losing my motivation. How do I keep going? So everybody then jumps in to support people. But they don't need to be in your neighborhood. You don't need to run into them at the grocery store. They're all over the country. And that's where I get my accountability. From there and from actually posting online. Like I do a little post every day that I work out. Most days that I work out, I'll put it on Instagram and Facebook just to show that I showed up and to help inspire my community, my followers, that I did it. I got up at 6 a.m. and did it. Did you do it? Let me know in the comments, And I think that can provide that same sort of accountability and support that you get from the gym without perhaps the embarrassment of having people watch you, judge you, um, sweat on you. Everybody's got their thing, and I'm not trying to make the gym isn't bad. I'm just saying the gym isn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people feel the same way you feel. That a lot of people are kind of intimidated by the gym. They don't necessarily feel comfortable there. So that is an issue as well. So that's why I recommend, hey, start at home, and then once you get more comfortable, more familiar, and you want to try out other options like the Pilates, or you want to try out maybe some yoga, or if you want to go to the gym, then try it then once you feel a little bit more comfortable, and you've probably seen some results by this point, so you probably feel a little more confident in your body. So yeah, just give it a shot. The gym's, it's not as scary as you think it is. It's not as scary.
Well, I know. Look, I've done it, man. I've been a member of gyms for years, and it's part of my job is to see what's going on in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm an introvert or what. But literally, I walk past that front desk, and I feel judged immediately. Like I feel like I'm inside somebody else's dojo. I do not belong here. Like I'm walking around and everybody's staring in the mirrors and grunting and doing all their stuff. And I feel like my form's probably wrong. I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable. And besides the fact that it took me 20 minutes to get up and get out the door to get to the gym in the first place. And now I got another 20 minutes back and I'm sweaty and gross in my car. Like just the experience for me it has never enhanced my ability to stay consistent. And like when I'm traveling, if I can stack my workouts, like we have some body weight workouts. One's called Just Bring Your Body, JBYB. And like I'll do those in my hotel room before I'll go to the hotel gym. That's how private I am about my fitness.
Yeah, you definitely got to figure out what works for you. Like try a few different things, whatever you like the best, whatever you enjoy the best, that you can stick to and you can be consistent with. Just stick with that, and over a long period of time, you will see the results. So that's what's most important. Totally. So how's your fitness changed over time as you've gotten older? Has your perspective changed on fitness at all?
Yeah, for sure, big time. The most important thing that I've realized, and again, I'm just talking as a human being, not a CEO. I used to get so hyped to do a workout so that if I didn't feel like I was going to push myself to vomiting, like if I wasn't going to be so gassed that I almost passed out, that I didn't really do the workout, because that's the way I would compete when I was in high school, right? So like that's what I thought fitness was. Now that I'm 62, so I would say like the last 4 years, and frankly, seeing my parents in assisted living homes and seeing how important function is, not just physique, that I've realized that it's really important that I show up and pay attention to my form more than my intensity. And that some days my best workouts are the ones where I back my intensity off by 20%, but just really focus on the form. And I'm not gassed at the end of the workout, and I feel great, and my body still changes. So that was the realization that, like, I sort of grew up thinking that I had to work the hardest. I had to be completely blown out. And once I let go of that, I stopped hating it as much. And so I would say maybe the first time in the last couple of years, for the first time in my life, I'm actually appreciating the workout more than I'm dreading it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I don't train near as hard now as I did, when I was a teenager, or just a few years ago. I definitely toned it back and focused more on the technique, like you mentioned, just making sure you're doing it right. That way I can do it for a long time. I'm only 26, so I want to do it. When I'm 62, I want to be able to still, be active, be mobile. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And still, enjoying it, and not torturing myself, because that's when you'll start to not like it, when you start torturing yourself,
right,
or you just don't enjoy what you're doing. it's
Yeah,
not fun. You're probably going to quit and die off. So
it's true.
that's the goal. So the big thing in the world now is AI. So what's your opinion on AI, and how do you think, are y'all using it in your app, or how's it going to affect the fitness industry?
Yeah, we have some AI that can just help people navigate. Um, but I think that ultimately, fitness is a behavioral for most people. Fitness is a behavioral issue. It's not about having some AI watch you and correct your form. I think AI, and just like any technological innovation related to fitness, is an easy way for the industry to find a new way to make money, but it's still going to leave a lot of people behind because it's going to be too complicated. It's going to make the whole thing intimidating when, you know, getting your heart rate up and challenging your muscles does not require any computer um, integration. Like, you just need to move your body. So it's just like, I watch people. I was at a conference and people were obsessing with peptides and wearables and AI. And I'm like, do you people understand that there's 185 million people, overweight or obese, who don't know how to get off the sofa and prioritize movement over scrolling and watching TV? Like, they're not thinking about biometrics and wearables and sleep scores. Like, they just got to start moving. Maybe drink a little bit less caffeine and cut back on sugar or soda, and their whole lives will change. That's the 95% of what you got to do. That last 5% might be enhanced with a little AI and technology. But if you don't get the behaviors right, you don't need any of that stuff. And it's not going to do the work for you. And that's the big head fake. So all your listeners who are like, I'll wait for AI and da da da, just forget it. Just find a program, plug into your day one, and see it through the first 21 to 30 days. That's the answer. You don't need any tech.
Yeah, that's an interesting viewpoint on it, because if you don't get up off the couch and work out, then the AI or the wearables, they do no good for you at all. So I like that that
The best
mindset behind
wearable
it.
in the world? Put a t-shirt on, do a workout. And if your t-shirt is wet from sweat, you did the workout right. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah, I like that. So where do you see at home fitness heading into the future? Do you see it's going to kind of stay the same? Going to keep growing? How do you see it changing?
Um, I think that that's a tough one. Like, people ask me about competition and things like that. I think the most important thing, home fitness, doesn't need to change. Like, we're always going to be innovating and creating new, interesting content, you know, from 10-minute workouts that we're coming out with, and new ways to organize the workouts that are maybe easier or more fun or whatever. Like, we'll always be developing that stuff. But until we can help society at large, or any single one listener of yours, that 10 minutes a day, your body deserves to be prioritized for 10 minutes a day, because it's going to improve everything else in your life: relationships, health, sleep, just everything, right? Moods. Um, like, until we can find a catalyst to get people to prioritize that little bit of discomfort every day in order to make the rest of your life more comfortable, you got that little bit of discomfort of pushing yourself. I don't know what's going to change. That's the thing that's got to change. What's unfortunate, or what makes that difficult, is media keeps getting more interesting. You got more access to entertainment than ever. And there's food gets more delicious every year. People are starting to wise up about it a little bit. And I think people are starting to feel the consequences of inactivity. So I'm just hoping that more and more people realize that they have control over how they feel. And then this is the big one, share that with some other people. Help other people have that catalyst moment, that wake up moment where they go, oh, 10 minutes? It doesn't have to be that hard. Okay, let me do that. Let's hold each other accountable. That's when fitness at large really will expand to be a regular part of everybody's day. And I don't think that requires major innovation to get there. It's going to require a bit of a society change of mindset.
Yeah, getting an accountability buddy is a big thing. That's something I talk about a lot on the podcast. Is have somebody there to hold you accountable, or y'all could even work out together. Maybe y'all could go to each other's house and work
Yeah,
out together. Having somebody
sure.
there to hold you accountable goes a long way. And it gets kind of competitive. You talked a little bit about competition. Then y'all can kind of compete with each other if you're competitive people, and that helps me a lot. I'm pretty competitive, so that helps me out a lot. I know. So
We
accountability is a huge thing.
we have people who on one device, so they'll be watching their TV and they'll start a workout, but they have like maybe on their iPad or their laptop, they have a Zoom open, and there's 50 people in that Zoom, and they all might be doing different workouts, but they all show up and they got seen and they saw people and high-fived them in the Zoom, and that's enough. It's just, that's a bit of technology that helps, but it's fairly low tech technology. And I just think people can chase innovation and end up spending thousands of dollars and find that it's pretty empty until they find the prioritization and, like you said, some accountability and support, whether it's in person or virtual. They might not make the change that they want in their life.
Yeah, that's a good idea on the Zoom class. That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
It goes back to that community aspect. They feel like they're doing it together. They're kind of suffering together, if that's a word you want to use.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. So is there outside of like just working out for 10 minutes or 20 minutes outside of the time concept? Is there any other misconceptions that you see people have about at home fitness compared to like a traditional gym?
Well, again, I think that the equipment perception is a big deal. I think the requirement of having like a personal trainer, where if it's one of we call our trainers super trainers because we put them through a rigorous audition process, make sure that they have the ability both to construct a program that's really well put together, but also articulate it through the screen in a way that a person who, the person's not watching you. So they have to coach you in the right way without being able to see you. So I think that's a thing that people don't understand about in-home fitness that they take for granted. Like they go to a class or have a personal trainer. They can get that same sort of experience virtually through an app or something like BODi. But look, Murphy, it's just not that complicated. Like we could talk about it for 2 hours, but I'm going to say the same thing over and over again because that's our job is to try to help people understand. In the 45 minutes that you and I have been talking, somebody could have done 3 fantastic workouts. like maybe they did one, and if somebody's just motivated hearing this about how simple it can be and that there is not some secret little future something that's going to unlock, it's just a matter of showing up for yourself. And I hope somebody, maybe tomorrow is going to be the day they start. They're going to have you to thank for it.
Hey, that's the goal. Every podcast, if I can help one person, that's my goal. Each podcast episode.
There you go. Well, we're hoping for one, and I hope they write you and let us know that this was the day.
Oh yeah, I've had a few people reach out. So if you ever want to reach out, please do. I really appreciate it when I get good feedback from the podcast. I really enjoy that. So yeah, definitely reach out if you have some positive words to say. So somebody that may be lacking motivation to get started, what is something you would say? Like, what is something you would recommend them doing if they're starting from square one? Like, what's the first step they should take?
Uh, well, it's going to sound selfish, but I don't know how else to help them. Like we have a quiz that people go through on BODi.com to help them find a program that's right for them. So should they start at beginners? What type of thing will they enjoy? So that's really a key thing to being able to finish a program. So the first step is find the program that's right for you. Second step is who do you know that might want to go through that program at the same time as you? And both, get yourself subscribed, pick your start day, and then get going.
So for somebody, when life gets busy a lot, and that happens, we all get busy. What do you recommend for people to kind of maintain that momentum they've built up or they've created? How do they maintain that when life does get busy?
Okay. I don't know anybody who life gets so busy that they don't eat or they don't breathe or they don't sleep. Now, maybe it happens from time to time. So this is what I'm talking about, the imperative that your 10 to 20 minutes a day of working out needs to be non-negotiable, like eating is. So if you can make 10 minutes to eat something, you need to find a way that first 10 minutes, like you shouldn't allow yourself to check any social media. If consistency is your thing, you don't allow yourself the reward of the dopamine hit from social media until you've done your 10 minutes of exercise. Or there is no Netflix and chill until you've taken the pill of exercise for the day. So life gets busy, sure, but it gets busy. It needs to crowd out the right things. It can't crowd out the wrong things. You're not going to let life getting busy mean that you don't eat today. You don't let life being busy mean that you don't pick your kids up at school or show up for work. You have to make that commitment and wake up 10 minutes early or go to sleep 10 minutes late. That's the way. And look, I'm not saying that with judgment to anybody. I'm saying that with love, that I want their body to work well for their whole life. I want them to be able to play with their kids, have no problem getting up and down off the ground or getting out of the chair or, walk around Disney for a day and a half, doing all the rides and all the things without getting exhausted. That comes from staying consistent a little bit at a time every day. And that's got to be your mantra. That's got to be the thing that you're like, nope, I don't skip this. I don't skip this. That has to be the mentality that you refine and you build in yourself. I don't skip this. The good news is the amount of time that everybody else is going to the gym and driving back, you can get 2 workouts done. So you just got to find a way to not let being busy undermine your priority to be healthy. You're not going to stay busy if you're sick. That's for sure. You're going to pay for it on either side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always say you'll make time for the things that are a priority to you, the things that you care about in life. You will make time for them. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have kids, you're going to make time for your kids, no matter how busy you are, no matter how much work you have to do at work, no matter what errands you got to run. At the end of the day, you're going to make time for your kids because they're a priority, and they should be. So that's how I feel about fitness. You got to make it a priority. Put it on your schedule. Put it on your calendar each day. I know most people use a calendar nowadays. Put it on there, and do it. Do it as it comes up. Like you said, don't let yourself skip. You got to do it. That's just part of your day. It's a non-negotiable. I love that term.
And if people, look, like you said, you're always going to show up for your kids. Well, I think doing this is showing up for your kids. If your kids are your priority, then showing up for yourself, is going to show your kids that this is a priority for them. So you're teaching them by what you're doing. Because, kids are on the screens all the time now. Like go from this screen to that screen to another screen. Everything is a screen. So let's make one of those screens healthy and make it a fitness screen, right? And then, so you're showing them how to behave. And second, you're going to be available to them. And you're going to put less pressure on them to have to take care of you when you're in your 60s and 70s because you're still getting around okay.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup. I always like to say
That's good.
that working on yourself, it's not selfish, it's selfless.
That's right.
For that same reason, like you don't want your kids to have to take care of you when you get older, and you want to be there for them. You don't want to die at a young age because you're out of shape and you have something wrong with you. So yeah, that's a big one. I like that a lot. But yeah, we're coming up here towards the end. I want to let you shout out your website and where everybody can find you, if you would.
Yeah, well, I'm just on Instagram, Carl Daikeler. It's at Carl Daikeler. And Daikeler's Daikeler, and Carl with a C. But the easy one is BODi.com, BODi.com. And that's where you're going to find the subscription offers and supplements that we have. I drink a shake called Shakeology every day. That helps because I'm also not, talking about what a shining example of a CEO. Like I don't like to eat vegetables either. So we created this shake so that I was getting all my greens and fruits and superfoods in a chocolate shake. And I've been drinking that for 18 years now. So you can find all that at body.com. And if people give it a shot and they don't like it, they get their money back within 30 days. Otherwise, I think you're going to find that you're feeling better and things can really get good real fast.
Absolutely. So if you're one of those people that we talked about earlier that may be intimidated of the gym, you may be scared, or you don't necessarily know what to do in the gym, I think going to body.com will be a great place for you to start to kind of get started in your living room, learn the basics. Hey, and you may learn that you love it and you want to stay in your living room, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But yes, y'all definitely check out the website, check out his workouts. I'm sure you got a lot of guides and things on there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks so much for joining the podcast. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I work out at home sometimes too. You'll be proud of me. When I can't make it to the gym, I will get a workout at home.
Good for you, man.
Doing some basic stuff, push-ups, pull-ups, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for joining the podcast.
My pleasure. I appreciate what you're doing here and how you're helping people.
Absolutely, that's the goal. Help one person with each and every episode. That's the goal.
There you go.
All right, that's gonna do it for this week's podcast episode. Y'all make sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast.
Thanks, Murphy.
Mm-hmm.